In October 1997, a law student in Canberra, Australia, made a plan to murder her devoted boyfriend after a dinner party. But it wasn't a secret. The dinner guests had all heard rumours about the plan and went along with morbid curiosity. But in what could be described as the ultimate bystander effect, nobody warned the young man.
Surely they thought it was a joke?
Surely. Everybody knew but him.
What?
This is the devastating case of Joe Cinque.
Oh, I know of this one, but I didn't know all those details.
Oh, well, you are going to need to strap yourself in.
What?
Sounded like a horse.
Sound a bit like dicks, actually.
That's actually true. This case has affected me in more ways than I could have imagined. I picked up the book by Helen Garner, Joe Cinque's Consolation, after going to buy Helen Garner's latest book on the mushroom cook, Erin Patterson.
Our favourite.
Our favourite. This story is devastating, and it's honestly a case that I cannot stop thinking about. I read the book quickly. I listened to anything I could. And I feel like my mind was pretty made up about how I felt about what happened. I'd love to hear your opinion, G, and I'd also love to hear what listeners think.
We need to tell us the story first.
Okay. You're right. You are right.
Thank you. I usually am.
Joe was murdered. What I didn't expect to learn was how many complex feelings I had about the killer and the friend who helped her.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it resonated with me on a personal level, with my own brother developing drug psychosis and completely changing as a brother I once loved and grew up with.
Oh, wow.
I cannot recommend the book highly enough. As always, I commit my undying love for Helen Garner and how she can find the human in people who are often deemed monsters.
It's interesting to say that because, I mean, just that sentence itself, a lot of people would say, well, no, there's no human in there.
Yeah.
That's
in a
how
killer.
beautifully she writes and how, I suppose, in depth she goes into her stories.
Yeah, and she looks at things in a really different way. Yeah. This is a story of a man's life who was taken too soon, far too soon, and a complex look into the lives and why, from what we can glean, the pair did it and why no one did anything to stop it.
Oh my God, tell me what happened.
Well, G, do you know a lot about this case already? Obviously not. No.
I know that a girlfriend, I think it was like a murder like a suicide pact.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
She backed out. That's about all I remember.
Okay, well, we'll go into it, and I really want to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah, because it's really fascinating, and there's a lot in here. Joe Cinque was a 26-year-old engineer living with his girlfriend, Anu Singh, in their terrace house in Canberra.
Yeah, I remember Anu's name.
Yeah. There's an interesting part of this, but I think it's kind of glossed over. When I read the transcript of the call to the ambulance, I'd like you to keep in mind what kind of house they lived in. Joe was working full-time and Anu was finishing her final year of law. Joe was killed.
That's ironic.
I know, yeah. Well, all the people that were at the dinner party were actually lawyers.
Oh, my God.
About to be. Joe was killed by a lethal injection of heroin while he was unconscious from rohypnol, which she had drugged him with in his coffee.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to refer to the book for a transcript of the call to the ambulance. This is what Helen Garner writes as the opening to that transcript. So I'm going to open
he's
up.
even getting out his physical book.
Yeah, and I put a little post-it note on it.
Oh, my God, you're so cute.
Just like my father.
Why is there an apple on the cover?
Well, we'll get into it.
Bad apple.
Into it. Well, hey.
Apple Isle.
Okay, very good.
Big apple.
The house he died in on Sunday, 26th of October, 1997, was not far from the Canberra ambulance headquarters.
Oh.
The paramedics would have been able to reach him in a flash, but it took the dispatcher almost 20 minutes to get to the right address from the hysterical young woman who placed the 000 call, the 000 call. Like all emergency calls, this one was recorded. This is the male dispatcher. Okay, and the phone number you're ringing from? Could I get an ambulance, please? I have a person potentially overdosed on heroin. Potentially overdosed? Well, he's not. He's vomiting everywhere, blood stuff. He's vomiting blood? Right, okay, what's the address? Is that a bad sign? What's the address? Can you hang on, please? Just tell me, is that a bad sign?
Oh, God.
It's not good if he's vomiting blood. Oh, is he going to be okay? I don't know. I'll send an ambulance for them to check him out. Fair enough. What's the address? 30 Antle Street. Is that a flat or a house? Oh, it's a flat. What number is Antle Street? What number in Antle Street? What's going to happen? What's the flat number? Oh, shit. Listen to me, says the paramedic again. Oh, hang on. What am I going to do? Settle down. Okay, what am I going to do? Well, if you tell me the address, I'll get an ambulance out to you. Will he be okay?
Oh, God, this is so frustrating.
I don't know. We'll have to get an ambulance to you to assess him. What is the number of the flat in Antle? Oh, shit. What is the number of the flat in Antle Street? It's 79.
There we go.
Flat 30, 79. Is that correct? Yeah, no. Hang on. Flat 30. Hang on. Where's the ambulance? The ambulance is at Dixon. Now just calm down. What's your name? Oh, shit, he's vomiting blood. The dispatcher again says, what's your name? Anu says, is he going to die? What is your name? Tell me, please, cries Anu. What is your name? Oh God, Olivia, says Anu.
Oh.
What is your name, please? Olivia. Oh, fuck. Hang on. What's the number you're ringing from? Hang on. His heart's still beating. Good, right? Okay, just settle down for God's sake, says the dispatcher.
Oh, God.
Which would be pretty uncommon, you'd think, for a dispatcher to say that. Flat 30, 79 Antle Street.
Okay, we got there.
Flat 30, 79, no.
Oh, my God.
79 Antle Street. What's the flat number? It's a townhouse.
What?
It's 79 in Antle Street. Yeah, get here quickly. All right, we've got someone there now. Now, that was not the only call that was made that night, but it's a really interesting call because Anu calls herself Olivia in that call.
A number of times.
And as we heard before, they lived in a townhouse.
And it was her address. She lived there, right?
She lived there. Yeah. Which could be, she was
Like
trying to cover up what happened. But yeah,
exactly. Because the way that reads is as if she didn't really know. She was there for a dinner party. She didn't really know the address she was at. So she was trying to find out what it was. And I mean, God, touch wood, I don't know what it's like to be in that situation where you're panicking and calling an ambulance. But I mean, it's very easy to say from this point of view, but you would think you could just spit out the address if you knew it.
You think you'd be able to, yeah, because you're at home. On June 11th, 1971, Joe was born to Nino and Maria Cinque in Newcastle, New South Wales. He was named after his grandfather, Giuseppe, or Joe for short.
What a beautiful Italian name.
Yeah, it was a way to carry on his heritage. They thought he was the most... That's right, German heritage. They thought he was the most beautiful baby they'd ever seen.
Most parents say that. Mine did not about me.
What?
Because my older sister, Katie, was the most beautiful baby anyone's ever seen. And then I came out and my mum was like, oh, she does not look like Katie.
Oh, she does not look like Katie.
The reason my godmother is because she was like, oh my God, Olivia, she's beautiful. And mum was like, no, she's not, Anna, don't lie to me.
You can have her.
Anna will be listening to this too, actually. And Anna was like, yes, she is. And Mum was like, well, you can have her if I die.
Joe's parents immigrated to Australia from Italy 4 years prior.
Oh, I knew it.
You said Germany. In 1975, Nino and Maria welcomed their second boy, Anthony. With two boys, the house was bustling, often described as chaotic.
It's my worst nightmare.
Toys and games all over the floor. Kind of like Diggs. I was living with Diggs. But Nino and Maria loved everything about it. They were happy to have their two boys.
Oh.
They lived in a red brick house in Newcastle. Newcastle is a harbour city in the Australian state of New South Wales. It's located 162 kilometres or 101 miles from Sydney. Joe's mum was a housewife and his father worked as a tradesman. Joe saw what his dad had done for a living, and he ended up working at the same company that he and his grandfather and his father had all worked at.
Oh, my God.
Before they knew it, Joe and Anthony were young men. Growing up all too soon for Maria's liking, but they would all have family dinners every single night because they all stayed close by. Joe was a gifted athlete, playing tennis and soccer. There were trophies littered all around the family home. He also radiated confidence and energy. He was a great student and a fantastic friend, often the one to bury the hatchet in any quarrel and find a way to move on. So two friends were kind of fighting. He'd be the one to go to. He was extremely well liked by everyone who met him. You just couldn't help but be drawn to him. He wanted to study architecture, but also didn't want a career that would keep him inside all day, strapped to the desk. So instead, he decided to take up a career in civil engineering.
Wow.
In 1994, at just 24 years old, he graduated university. His parents had bought him a ticket overseas as a gift for graduating.
Oh, nice, Maria.
Nice one, huh? He really wanted to go travelling before starting his working life, and at the time broke it off with his girlfriend Rebecca, who everyone kind of thought he'd end up with.
Oh, God, that's not very nice. Like, see ya, I want to go have sex
I know.
overseas.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if he said it like that, but that's probably, I reckon he did. After Joe died, Rebecca turned up to the family home and told Maria that she just wished Joe had loved her like she had loved him.
Oh, stop.
Isn't that heartbreaking? She bought flowers and told her that.
Oh, my God.
When he got back, he found a job at a civil engineering company as a project manager, which was close to his family in Newcastle.
I wanted to look at what Joe looks like. I'd like to have a visual of him.
Yeah, of course.
I actually know what Anu Singh looks like, but isn't that terrible? I know what she looks like. And I've actually got in my notes the name Anu Singh for an episode to do.
Oh, really?
But not Joe's. Isn't that terrible? We always talk about how, that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah. Maria, Joe's mother, said in Helen Garner's book that Joe's father and grandfather had worked at the same engineering company, like I said before. So it's a big international corporation.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look very, this is such a boring, basic thing to say. They look like a couple in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like in the kind of mid to late 20s.
A good-looking couple.
Yeah, very good-looking.
Yeah.
He looks quite American.
He does, doesn't he?
He's very like chiseled jaw, a bit like
Well, like Italian-American, doesn't he? Like he's got a very Italian kind of face, boyish kind of charm.
Yeah.
If he didn't have enough to do, all week, he'd find himself really restless. Maria kind of noticed this with him from a young age. He would hang out with friends, go to the pub, or put in extra hours at work. With his friends, he would regularly hang out at a local pub called the Brewery. That's when he met 22-year-old Anu Singh.
She was only 22.
Only 22 at the time,
Wow.
Anu was born in India on September 3rd, 1972. Her parents relocated to Newcastle when she was really young. Both of her parents were doctors and pushed their children to do well in their studies. Anu had completed her schooling and got a HSC. Did I say that right?
Yeah, but
thank you.
An HSC.
An HSC to go into economics and law at ANU, which is the Australian National University in Canberra. She also called the ACT, the ACT.
The act of going to university.
Correct.
A little bit of trivia for our international listeners, because I would hazard a guess most people outside of Australia don't know this. Canberra is actually our capital city, not Sydney.
Yeah. And it was because the two were fighting it out, weren't they? So
Melbourne and Sydney were fighting it out, as we always do.
Yep.
Even 200 years ago we were. And so they just picked a place in the middle. City in the middle.
Yeah. And you know what? It is a lovely place, Canberra. I quite like Canberra, but there is nothing around it.
No, it's in the middle. It's just a city that it's not even in the middle. It's closer to Sydney, but that's a very Melbourne person thing of me to say.
They got it closer.
Yeah.
So she moved down there and started her degree. So Anu moved to Canberra and started her degree in the early 90s, but didn't cope living away from home. She called her mother a lot and would go back home frequently. Anu was extremely attractive, high-achieving, and very well-spoken. She had a focus on going to the gym and was an obsessive dieter. Her parents ended up moving to Sydney and lived and worked there. Anu graduated in economics, and her plan was to go back and finish her law degree.
Wow.
When Anu and Joe met at the brewery, they immediately hit it off. Anu was back home for a short period of time. their two friendship groups happened to know each other and they got chatting. Anu had a boyfriend at the time who she lived with in Canberra.
Oh, wow.
His name was Simon Walsh. One report stated that he found out about the fling and ended it. Another stated that the more time Joe and Anu spent together, the less she could see Simon, and it eventually fizzled out. So I don't really know which one is true there. It seemed like, he found out about it, big blow up, or that they stayed together for a while and he eventually found out.
It sounds like there was some kind of crossover.
There was some sort of crossover there.
Meeting Joe was the reason she and Simon ended.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever the timeline was.
That's right. Yeah, but Anu was really heartbroken by the breakup with Simon. Senior parole officer Naomi Buick had spent hours interviewing Anu and said that she had terminated a pregnancy while with Simon, which had a lasting and traumatic effect on her.
Oh, that's sad.
She was particularly hurt by a claim he made calling her intellectually inferior.
Oh, yuck.
Which is what she said about others, so it really hit her hard.
Oh, well,
I guess because
too.
she said it about everybody. Yeah. It had a really big impact on her. It was a huge turning point in her behaviour.
So she's allowed to call other people intellectually inferior, but if someone calls her that, she goes crazy.
It. Yeah.
Okay.
Dish it out, but you can't take it.
Not me, Anu. Why'd you look me deep in the eye when you said that and growl?
I didn't growl, and I didn't cut that out of the podcast. Hey. By late 1995, she developed bulimia. She spiraled into a deep depression and moved back in with her parents. She wanted liposuction and refused to admit that she was suffering. She had a diet of Coca-Cola, Tim Tams, and she would smoke. She also dabbled in drugs. So I think that her dad actually went through with a liposuction, which there was no...
Her dad went through with it?
Actually paid for her to have liposuction.
Oh, God.
She was really kind of, the way that she spoke to people, she kind of seemed like she could kind of get her way with anything that she said, and there was nothing to her. She was the skinniest person and actually had liposuction.
Oh, I just looked up the photos and I can't understand that.
Joe had been in an awful car accident with his family at the age of just 8 years old.
Oh, my God.
His mother, Maria, had a debilitating foot injury, and so Joe acted as caretaker during this time.
Oh. He
was soon to become a caretaker once again to Anu. They would talk on the phone dozens of times per day.
Dozens?
Dozens. So when he was in Newcastle and she was in Canberra, they'll call about 15 times a day.
Oh, that's toxic.
Joe was now by her side and her condition did not show signs of improvement. So one of the things that was often commented that Anu would say that she was really sick, she had something, and Joe would have to continually go back to Canberra to look after her.
Oh, I've known a couple like that.
Yeah. It's really,
end well. It didn't end in murder, oh my Lord.
No, it didn't.
But no.
Say that.
It didn't end well.
Why did you look at me in the eye and growl? So
cut
I got you as well.
Cut that out of a podcast too.
Joe had fallen head over heels for Anu. Anu was a strikingly beautiful person, like I mentioned before. Anu and Joe would talk for hours and hours at a time. By 1996, they were dating exclusively. Nice. They spent... It's like I looked at you like, you know what we always say?
Paused and looked at me like...
You know what we always say? Nice.
You know when we talk about people dating exclusively? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice.
They spent most of their free time together and from the outside looked like a very happy couple. Joe's family sat down for dinner with Anu to finally meet her. They wanted to know kind of who this person was that their son was spending all this time with. Joe's parents believed she was intelligent but thought that something was a bit off about her.
Oh.
She brought up a lot of odd topics, talking a lot about the afterlife and also spoke about her previous relationship in great detail, saying that it was almost a little incestuous.
What?
It was very strange, but her parents passed it off as someone who liked to shock people with different out there ideas.
Hang on, I'm going to need to ask more about the incestuous comment. What do you mean? Like his relationship with his family was incestuous?
Yeah, there was nothing more about it, but she described their sex life in great detail. I think kind of saying that he was like a brother to her. It was like really incestuous. Joe didn't say anything at the time and continued eating, so she just kind of spoke about all of this in great detail, and the parents didn't really know.
Is that kind of insinuating he's used to it, she speaks like that all the time, or maybe he felt uncomfortable so just didn't get involved in the conversation?
It's kind of, well, it is kind of alleged that he felt uncomfortable and that she was quite controlling. She did all the talking.
There's nothing wrong with that, Sammy. Why are you looking me in the eye and growling?
I didn't growl. For Joe's friends, Anu was confident and domineering. It was pushing Joe into the background. He was becoming less sociable and let Anu take the lead in every single conversation. It didn't help when the Cinques found out that Anu was keeping their relationship a secret from her parents. They wanted her to prioritise her studies over boys. Joe instructed his parents to say, if they ever met the Singhs, to say that he was just a friend of Anu's brother.
Which is interesting because why would they meet if it weren't because they were dating?
Well, I don't know, in case they just dropped in Canberra, maybe, I don't know, because they were living together.
Yeah.
Well, at the end, they ended up living together,
yeah. I reckon the only partner, I don't know, the only like parents of a partner my parents ever met was like at, maybe a 21st birthday party. Like until, I suppose until I was living. My parents were gay crashing, yes.
They wanted to go, desperate to go.
I made them pay but didn't invite them.
So the fact that she didn't want to say anything about Joe to anyone.
Even when they were living together.
Yeah, it made Joe's parents feel a little bit off. They didn't like that Anu wasn't telling anyone about Joe and making him seem really small. They noticed that Joe wasn't quite himself and would now fade away in the background anytime Anu was around. Anu would interrupt every time they tried to talk with Joe. One time when Nino, the dad, was trying to have a private conversation with Joe, Anu walked up behind Joe, hugged him, kissed him, and pulled him away.
Yucky.
It seemed to the family that Anu was always there to snatch Joe away.
There's not a lot I hate more than that level of yuck jealousy.
Yeah,
murder.
Sure.
I do hate more, but
is murder first?
In no particular order.
Sure. Their nightly dinner was often interrupted by Anu. Anu eventually went back to Canberra. So this is the timeline here is that she kept coming back to Newcastle at different points. She'd come back for a summer period or any holiday she'd come back. She wanted to be with her mum. And then she eventually went back to Canberra, 450 kilometres south, which meant that Joe and her couldn't see each other as often.
I didn't realise it was that far.
It's a really long way from Newcastle, yeah. He would drive 5.5 hours to see her on a Friday and return early Monday morning to start work, hardly sleeping.
Oh my God, that's a good boyfriend.
Very good boyfriend. Anu called Joe every night, often during the family meal, sometimes after. He would go and talk to her every time she called.
No, sorry, rude. If you're having dinner with your family, take the call later.
That's what Maria thought. Maria would often take the phone off him and tell Anu to let him eat his meal.
I am like Maria.
Yeah, Maria's great. Because of...
It's from West Side Story. Maria, I just met a girl named Maria.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Because of all the calls, their phone bill skyrocketed. The calls were excessive, not to mention the expense Joe was spending every weekend to spend time with her back in Canberra. Anu often complained about being sick, which crippled her from time to time. He would drop everything when she complained about being sick. Maria worried that Joe was exhausting himself and finding it hard to juggle everything with all the other things he had going on in his life. Maria tried to warn Joe not to let Anu control him, but he said, "Don't make me choose. I love you, but she needs me."
Oh,
that broke Maria's heart.
That breaks my heart. I am Maria.
You are Maria. In September 1996, Joe finally decided that he was going to move in to be with Anu. He was going to move to Canberra. They moved into a semi-detached townhouse together and even opened up a joint bank account called Anu and Joe's marriage account.
Whoa.
As while Anu was studying, Joe was going to have to be the financial provider. Their house was in a bustling part of town near the university in a place called Downer.
Downer.
It's
sounds like
Downer.
a real upper of a town.
Hey, you should say that there. I think that'd be fun.
I did.
No, but you should say it there. If you ever go there to do some sort of MC. Okay.
I don't want to.
In Newcastle, at the end of the semester, the couple spent 3 weeks with Joe's family back in Newcastle. But Maria did not like her. She continued to feel that there was something very strange about her.
I mean, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and he's giving a little bit of Italian mother loving her son and not wanting another woman to take her away, as well as, Anu sounds a bit...
Alarm bells would
a lot
definitely
for
ring.
a couple in their early 20s.
Absolutely. Yeah. Once back in Canberra, things took a downward spiral.
Was it a bit of a downer?
Nice one. Again, you did it again.
Thank you.
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
Anu continued to be hyperfixated on her weight, excessively going to the gym and watching what she was eating.
Well, that's sad. She's got a mental disorder.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She was suffering from bulimia, and like I said before, her parents, she kind of asked her parents time and time again for liposuction. Her dad allegedly gave in and helped. In 1997, Anu was complaining about chronic fatigue and muscle aches. Her health was her obsession. Anu constantly had something wrong with her that she was fixated on, but it was all psychological. She approached Maria to speak about her car accident and how she dealt with the problem she faced with her foot. She noticed that Anu was really fidgety that time and thought that perhaps she was having some kind of drug withdrawal. Robert, the Cinque's godson, was really concerned about Joe. During his visits to Canberra, he watched the spark disappear from Joe's eyes.
Oh.
By mid-1997, Anu was convinced that she had contracted AIDS, which made her focus more and more on her health.
Oh, God.
So she always had a new fixation of how sick she was and thought there was always something happening.
Is it like a bit of insinuation of maybe some Munchausen syndrome?
Yes, yeah, there could be that, but also, there is some kind of drug effect there as well. So I think...
And medical anxiety.
Absolutely, yeah. She believed her body was shutting down.
God.
She was furious with Joe that he didn't seem to care enough about her many ailments. When the results came back negative about the AIDS, she continued on various other diagnoses. Her parents attempted to have her admitted to a psychiatric facility, but she wasn't seen as a threat to herself or others and could not be admitted against her will. And this is what happens, once you're over 18 here in Australia, you cannot be admitted anywhere against your will. Yeah,
unless you're deemed
unfit. Yeah, like to a point where you can't make choices for yourself. Anu was taking Ipecac for a period of time. She said that Joe had pointed... I'm going to explain that, don't you worry about that. She said that Joe had pointed out this drug to her. Now, it has been said that perhaps Joe mentioned the drug at a dinner party in passing, as it's what supermodels take to keep weight off.
Oh.
This is a definition I found of the drug. Syrup of Ipecac, or simply Ipecac, is a drug that was once widely used as an expectorant. Yeah. And a rapid-acting emetic. It is obtained from the dried rhizome and roots of the Ipecacuana plant, from which it derives its name. It is no longer regularly used in medicine.
So it did like an appetite suppressant or something?
Yeah, and kind of like a weight loss thing. So a lot of supermodels did it to keep the weight off, but and the big thing here was that Anu was like, we mentioned it as a suggestion for me.
Okay.
But it later went on to say that he probably just mentioned it one time and she thought, I'll use that. Oh. Anu had been taking a lot of drugs for recreational use at the time. Drugs were really big at the time at ANU and Canberra in general. She would take ecstasy with her previous boyfriend, Simon. She would stop when she went home to her parents and would often have withdrawals at the time.
Oh, dear.
Her parents are both doctors as well, so they kind of would have seen what was happening. At the time, Anu had some building resentment, stating that Joe didn't do anything around the house and that she felt that she was a housewife. She made another complaint to the university counsellor, saying that Joe had hit her, yelled at her and abused her. He had blamed her for hitting her and that she couldn't leave him because he was financially supporting her. This took place a few months before Joe's death.
Do we know if those allegations... Oh.
Yeah. It's since come out after Anu was sentenced that she made that up.
As in she admitted to making it up or other people have said?
She made it up. Yeah, she told the counsellor and said that she was building a case. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay.
Anu then
I was going to have a believe women moment. if other people had said, nah, she made that up. But
yeah, no. It was definitely, something that she made up. Anu then believed that she had a degenerative muscle wasting disease that was fatal and believed that she only had a few months to live.
It does sound a bit Munchausen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
If she's really believing she's got all these things that are wrong. Oh, dear.
Is it Munchausen or is it...
Yeah, Munchausen by proxy is when a parent or someone else kind of... But Munchausen is well,
kind of like a hypochondriac.
Yeah, maybe it's just that. To be fair, I think Munchausen is more you kind of believe you've got illness and that actually wills it on.
Oh right, okay.
I think. Tell me if I'm wrong, dear listeners. But yeah, maybe it's just hypochondria.
Yeah. Like she just kind of felt like she had everything. Yeah. She didn't tell her parents what it was exactly, just that she was sick. Her parents continued to encourage her to go to the doctor time and time again. She told her friends, but her friends kind of thought that it was a tall tale. So she was known for exaggerating things. Who cried wolf, maybe. Exactly.
Oh, okay, she's got something else again now.
Got something else again, yeah. Ooh. It was a figment of her imagination, but it was like she believed it. She started giving away her CDs and clothes. She showered up to 7 times a day.
Oh, God.
So she's really obsessive, really obsessive. She believed that she got the disease from taking Ipecac and blamed Joe for that.
Oh, dear.
She actually told some people that she was going to kill Joe.
Oh, okay.
She also told several people that she was going to kill herself. Anu made several attempts to get a gun. So she wanted to kill herself with a gun. That didn't happen, and so then she decided she would go to different dealers to get heroin and have a lethal overdose of heroin. Someone told her that that's actually a pain-free way to do it.
And she had never, she wasn't a heroin user?
No. Well, no, I don't think so. I think that was the first time she did heroin. I mean, other drugs, but not
So
not
it was
heroin.
kind of like, I've never done heroin, so it would be quite easy to overdose on that. Maybe it was the thought she had.
Well, someone told her that that's how you can kill yourself, yeah. So saying that if you actually had a lethal dose, it would be the best way to go, it would be pain-free.
God.
Anu would allegedly talk about how much smarter she was than Joe and constantly put him down in front of everyone.
Again, because you felt so good when your ex-boyfriend did that to you, let's go and do it to your current boyfriend.
Let's have a think about that. She does far worse, but let's have a think about that as well. Joe was getting sick of the relationship and wanted an out.
Oh.
He was starting to make plans to break it off.
Oh, no.
He had purchased a new car, which was the first part of his exit plan and the first time you could see the joy back in his eyes.
Oh, no.
Many have since stated that knew, that's a hard one there, sorry about everyone, knew that he was going to leave. In fact, in his diary, he had a note that he was going to pack up and leave on the Monday. Joe's mother, Maria, had noticed that most of his things were gone in the house, like he had already been packing up and trying to leave. Anu spoke quite openly.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
What is he doing? I don't even really understand.
He was just crawling along the ground, but with his both his front and back legs stretched out as far as he could possibly do, like army crawling along.
Like
kind
of cool. Would you say? No comment. Anu spoke quite openly about killing herself and a suicide pact between her and Joe. She would speak quite openly about it, but no one ever paid attention to her.
I'm so sorry. I'm laughing at Diggs. I'll stop looking at him. I'm obviously not laughing at this story. I'm so sorry. Bless you.
Come on. She spoke openly about wanting to take her own life with a suicide pact with Joe. She would speak quite openly about it, but no one paid any attention to her anymore.
Oh, God. It sounds like it's proper boy who cried wolf at this point.
Absolutely. Anu was diagnosed with a personality disorder and depression, but a lot of people around her said that she was just being dramatic and often lied about what was going on.
Oh, God.
And what she was going to do at that point as well.
Yeah.
In 1997, Anu told a friend that she hated Joe and wanted to go on a rampage and kill Joe, her ex-boyfriend Simon, and all of the doctors that had misdiagnosed her and did not take her seriously. She said, "I studied psychiatric text and it wouldn't be too hard to convince someone you're insane."
Oh God, I'm so... I'm flicking between... Oh, no, the poor thing. And, yuck.
I know. Well, this is what it did to me as well. Yeah. She visited the library with her close friend and fellow student, Madhavi Rao.
Great name.
Great name. A little bit about Madhavi. Madhavi was an only child until the birth of a much younger sibling who was disabled. The family's hopes then focused on Madhavi and all pressure seemed to be placed on her. She was a great tennis player growing up and a good student, although she didn't get a high enough score after high school to get into medicine, so decided she'd do law instead.
Oh
Pretty good
my
option
God.
still. Imagine going, I can't get into medicine, I'll just be a lawyer.
I guess I'll just do law.
Her father was a well-respected teacher and her mother a doctor. They both retired by the time that Madhavi was in university, but by the time the trial began, they both had to start working again to pay for her legal fees and her defence lawyer. In the family home, there was strictly no smoking and no drinking.
Sorry, is it a friend of Anu's?
It's a friend of Anu's,
Okay,
yep. Madhavi was the quieter, more studious of her and Anu, and she followed her blindly. It was since been kind of stated that she was a bit of a doormat and was constantly walked on by stronger people. So Anu and Madhavi sourced a book about the individual's right to die. It contained information about assisted suicide and legislation. They photocopied several pages of this book. During this time, her parents tried to have her committed to a psychiatric facility again without her consent this time. This had to go through a magistrate, and before this long approval process, Joe Cinque would be dead.
Oh, shit.
Anu told several people that Joe and her would be overdosing together in a suicide pact.
She and Joe. Sorry.
That she and Joe would be overdosing in a suicide pact, but Joe had no idea about this plan.
Well, that's not a suicide pact then.
That's what she
a
was telling
murder
people.
suicide.
She was telling people to get them on kind of so that they would not raise suspicion with Joe, which is bizarre.
Sorry,
as well.
so she was saying it's a suicide pact, so
Yes.
don't say anything.
Don't say anything. Yes.
Okay. Far out. So it's obviously not a suicide pact, but that's what she was telling people.
That's what she was telling people.
Oh.
She told other people that she was going to drug him so that he was not aware that she was killing herself. So another part of what she was saying was, I'm going to kill myself, but Joe would get too upset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drug him with rohypnol in his coffee, his nightly coffee. He's one of those people that has coffee at night.
Weirdo.
I don't understand it.
Oh, no. Italian.
Italian. He's Italian. Not a weirdo Italian.
No,
Come on.
Sometimes they're confused.
Anu purchased another gram of heroin.
Hang on, could we just go back to I'll drug him because he'll get too upset?
Yeah.
So it would be much better if he wakes up from a drugged stupor, not knowing why he passed out and found his girlfriend dead.
Yeah.
That's maybe worse.
It's a perfect plan. I don't really understand. I think she was. I don't think she's thinking clearly at all in any of this, and I think that this was part of her plan that she thought, and Madhavi was going along for the ride.
Like willingly, not willingly, knowingly, or was she just kind of thinking my friend's just kind of talking smack again?
There's a bit of that. There's a bit of who knows. There's a bit of what I call who knows. Your Honour, who knows? Her magistrate, I implore you. Can I raise this? Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know. I think in this it was she kind of always thought that Anu was talking smack. She said this several times before. However, she did continually tell people throughout all of this that Anu
Madhavi told people that this is what Anu was saying.
Yep. And that's what she was doing.
Okay.
Anu purchased a gram of heroin. The dealer asked why she needed so much, and she said, "Someone's coming with me."
Oh.
The dealer asked if Anu intended to end her own life, and she said that she did, but she would never reveal who the other person was.
And the dealer still sold it to her?
A dealer's always going to sell it to you.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
There
That
is
was a really dumb comment by me.
there is. I don't think with a dealer there is anything.
Dealer was like, I just want you to have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about.
The dealer's not going, who's this for? Who's that for?
Good point.
Now, what we are going to go is the first part of this horrible event titled The First Dinner Party.
Oh.
October Sunday.
Okay.
I said that in the weirdest way.
You've nailed that.
October Sunday 19th, Joe visited his parents in Newcastle.
Sunday, October 19th.
Easier. Sunday, October 19.
Beautiful.
Joe, I'll do it one more time.
No.
Sunday, October 19th, Joe visited his parents in Newcastle. He told his mum that he and Anu were hosting a dinner party the following evening back in Canberra. He wanted to know if his mum had any meals prepared that he could serve his guests. So what a young Italian boy.
It's such an Italian boy. I love that. Mama, please.
Mama, please. We'll come back to Sydney if you cook. Yeah. To Newcastle, sorry, not to Sydney. I'll
take your home cooked meals 400 and something kilometres away. I love it.
So he wanted to know if she had any pre-prepared meals so that she could serve all of his guests for a dinner party.
Which I feel like she would have.
Well, Maria offered to cook something,
Yeah,
but Joe thought instead
did.
he'd pick up some fried chicken on the way home. Which I don't think that's a dinner party if you're just getting fried chicken.
No, and it's not comparable to
No.
Maria's beautiful Italian food.
I know. Beautiful Italian food.
Maria, I'll have your Italian food, please.
Well, the beautiful thing about this story, and there is only kind of one beautiful part, is that Helen Garner got to spend quite a lot of time with Maria, and Maria would always cook for her and have her over.
I love Maria.
Maria is beautiful. October 20th, 1997, the dinner party Monday was set to be held, and everyone showed up fully aware of Anu's mental state. Madhavi turned up with one of her friends, Olivia, who had not met Joe or Anu before.
Sorry, when you say aware of her mental state, meaning that she wasn't in a good place
That
at
she
the
wasn't in a
time,
good
or
place
knowing
at
what
the
her
time.
plans were?
Both.
What? No, I don't believe that. I can't believe that.
Yeah. So
That they've come to a dinner party knowing
Madhavi has told
hey,
everybody exactly why they're going along.
we're going to this dinner party tonight.
And afterwards.
And Anu is going to drug her boyfriend with rohypnol.
No. That there's going to be a suicide pact after.
What the fuck? Why would you go to that dinner party?
Well, this is the thing. Everyone went. It was a morbid curiosity.
No.
Before the dinner, Madhavi showed her a needle mark in her skin, explaining that Anu had been practicing injecting on her to practice for her suicide.
What?
She explained to Olivia that the dinner was a final dinner before Anu and Joe's joint pact.
And Olivia's a random friend who came
didn't
with
know
Madhavi who didn't know the others.
That's right.
No, sorry.
Olivia was actually visiting from out of town, I think. It was that friend there.
Sammy, if you invited me to a dinner party with a friend and then like on the way you were like, oh, by the way, the friends are going to kill themselves afterwards,
What would you say?
I won't come, thank you very much.
Well, you jump out of the car, just stop, drop and roll.
I'd stop, drop and roll and then I would get your mum to make me dinner for me and my whole family.
You know what?
friend.
Nothing against my mother, but I don't think it'd be a beautiful meal like Maria's cooking.
It's better than mine.
Anu told Olivia and Madhavi that she had prepared too much food and that they should go and knock on the doors of nearby people and get them to come.
No,
and they did.
What is going on? This is the weirdest story I've ever heard.
Rumours had spread by that point of Anu's intentions for that night, spurring other students, some of which were total strangers, to attend in some kind of morbid curiosity.
What are you talking about, Sammy?
This is why this case is so bizarre, and through Helen Garner's book, she says, why did these people not do more? Joe Cinque was dead. That's what she kind of repeats throughout the book, and it's very powerful.
I love the power of that.
It's the
question,
bystander effect.
But I need the answer. I don't just
there
want
is no
the question.
answer.
No, give me the
These
answer.
people
I don't
went on
like
to be
it.
lawyers, and a lot of them have since spoken out about it. Some of them have not, and they
Saying
all
what?
had their names
Saying
suppressed.
what?
That they all wanted to go and see.
Why?
The people invited all knew of Anu's plans to take her and Joe's life. They all believed it was some kind of farewell party.
No.
The only person that didn't know, again, was Joe Cinque.
Oh, yucky, I hate this.
Anu made it clear to everyone invited that Joe was in on the pact. They appeared really loving towards each other all night, which made a lot of people who attended to believe it was all now a harmless joke. So they went along and then they went, oh, okay, maybe it's a joke all along.
I feel like, I mean, as I've just very obviously said, I wouldn't go anyway. But I feel like if they were seeing me really lovey and nice, that would almost make me believe it more, because you often hear that people who have decided they're going to take their own lives are quite happy and at peace and comforted in their last days.
Well, because he didn't know what was going on, but maybe they kind of looked at both of them and went, they're both happy.
But the guests thought he did know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think I would go, oh, yeah, they've decided to do this and they're, oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't think that again. I wouldn't be there.
Madhavi drove quite a few of the guests home, telling them that the suicide was going ahead later that night. A few of the people asked if they should seek medical assistance, but Madhavi told them not to. A few of the people thought that it was Anu's choice if she really wanted to do that, and it wasn't their place to get involved or intervene.
Yes, it was.
That night, Anu crushed sedatives into Joe's drink so that he would drift off. She then fetched a pre-prepared syringe, but she struggled to find the right vein. Joe got up in the morning and went to work, seemingly unaware of what had happened the night before.
Oh my God.
Anu called Madhavi and told her what happened. Madhavi was doing work experience at the Community and Health Services Complaints Commission. It's ironic. She told 2 colleagues that something really serious had happened the night before and was paranoid the police were going to come after her.
Tell the police. Tell the police.
She told them.
Don't tell your colleagues. Tell the police.
It was the major crime of the century. And it had to do with revenge.
Huh?
Anu asked one of her heroin dealer friends to source her some rohypnol.
Oh my God.
The friend had no problem getting it. She got 15 tablets. When paired with heroin, only 1 tablet was necessary.
Jesus.
So the heroin had actually congealed and she couldn't get it to work. It had been too long in the syringe and she couldn't get the heroin. She couldn't actually get it to inject. So Joe was knocked out after having his morning coffee, woke up the next morning and went, he probably felt a bit groggy and just went, he had no idea that it happened.
Far out.
A few days later, the same guest was surprised to receive another invitation.
All of them, all the same guests?
Yep. I don't know if it's all the same guests, but a lot of the same people. For Friday, October 24th.
Oh my God.
Deemed here.
The same week.
The second dinner party. Yep. Monday was the first one and then
God,
Friday second.
I hate this story.
Despite the unsettling knowledge of their plans, they went along.
No!
The guests were told again that she was planning to take her and Joe's lives. Joe returned home to see a full house of people. He was surprised he didn't know about the second dinner party, but went along with it. He was gracious and a sociable host.
Oh my God. If I came home and there was a house full of people eating, I'd crack this
Eating that fried chicken again. He was talking excitedly about his new car and his upcoming holiday to Queensland. Madhavi told her friend Olivia that the plan was going ahead for real this time, but Olivia dismissed her, saying people who are going to do this sort of thing don't just talk about it, they go ahead and do it.
Or they're only talking about it.
Well, yeah.
Again, I suppose that I feel like that's what I would think.
It's happened once before.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
one of her
thought
things
this.
that she just talks about.
And she cries out for attention a lot.
And she did this and
Madhavi was certain that there was nothing she could do to stop it. Another guest thought it couldn't be true and others thought it was another one of Anu's tall tales. The couple interacted exactly the same that night. They were both happy and bubbly.
Which is interesting when we've just said that Joe had been planning to break up with her.
Yeah. Maybe he was acting for his friends. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? The party continued into the early hours without incident. At 6 a.m. the following morning, Madhavi arrived home and told one of her friends that Anu had put 10 rohypnol tablets into Joe's coffee
10.
and tried to inject him with a lethal dose of heroin.
Was Madhavi saying this because she was there or because that's what Anu said she was going to do?
She was apparently there at the time because left after she did that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's accessory.
Yes. It didn't work. It's amazing. It wasn't his time to go.
Madhavi said that.
Yep. When the friend asked why Anu was trying to hurt Joe, Madhavi said, Joe's the problem. She wants to take Joe with her. It's because she blames him for her condition.
Oh, no.
Madhavi decided at that point that she wasn't going to be involved in any further plans. So her friend kind of talked her out of it and said, what are you doing?
Hang on, sorry. After being there to witness someone give someone 10
lethal dose. Yeah. 10 rohypnols.
And then heroin.
And piss off. Yeah. Well, didn't see the heroin, but saw the rohypnol tablets.
And said, you know what? I've let my friend talk me out of doing that ever again.
I'm not going to do that anymore.
I don't like Madhavi.
As the day continued, word of Anu's plan spread. One friend threatened to contact the police, but Anu found out about this and talked the friend out of it.
Hang on, so has Joe... Do we know what Joe's condition is at this point?
No.
Okay.
Anu told the friend that she would do nothing to hurt Joe. Anu told this person that they were going to be engaged. Why would she hurt him?
What?
Anu admitted to these concerned people that she had given Joe the sedatives, but she had only done it so that he would be asleep when she tried to end her own life. She convinced them that Joe was not in any danger and she would confess to him about spiking his drink. Everyone decided to let this go.
No, what?
So the news at that point had only spread of the 10 rohypnol tablets. But I'm sure at that point it wasn't. I'm sure at that point though it wasn't 10. Like I'm sure people didn't say 10.
Oh, she drugged him to put him to sleep.
Exactly. At 10:19 that evening, Anu called her friend Len, who was fully aware of the sinister plans, but expressed his opinion to others that it was just Anu being dramatic and a desperate cry for attention.
10 p.m. the following night.
Yep.
Saturday night.
Anu asked how strong rohypnol was. She said that Joe had been asleep for a really long time, about 15 hours. And was now groggy and couldn't keep his eyes open. She was worried about what she had done, but Len told her that she wouldn't have caused any long-term damage. Joe took the phone and said, "Hey, mate, my mind is 100% functional."
Joe said that?
Apparently, yeah. My body just wants to sleep like crazy. That's all. She's worried for nothing. Now, I'm very confused about that. Apparently, I don't know if she ever told him that she had given him that much rohypnol, but it seems like she did confess that to him. Told him that on the phone, I gave you a rohypnol, blah, 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 blah.
That's why you can't stay awake.
That's right. I think she had told him at that point. After midnight, Anu called another friend asking if it was possible to inject heroin into your legs or the backs of your arm. The next morning, Sunday, October 26, 1997, Anu visited Madhavi and told her that Joe wasn't breathing and she needed money to get some heroin to take her own life. Madhavi drove her to an ATM and withdrew $250 cash before walking home alone.
I'm so sorry. Madhavi can get fucked.
Yeah, she can get fucked. At 9 a.m, Anu purchased half a gram of heroin. She was anxious and kept saying, "Today's the day." Anu continually called Madhavi that day. Madhavi told Anu to leave her alone, but eventually caved after Anu was extremely persistent. Madhavi went to pick her up.
So she was like, "Leave me alone, go kill yourself in peace."
Yeah.
Fuck this girl.
They both had a heated argument while Anu appeared to be very distressed. Madhavi went to speak to Len and told him that after Joe awoke the night before, he told Anu that he was going to leave her. Madhavi then explained that Anu tried to kill Joe with heroin. Len had been convinced it was all a tall tale up until this point. He suggested calling Anu's parents to tell them in case Anu later claimed that Joe had injected himself. Len and Madhavi went for a drive just in case Anu tried to involve them further. During that drive, Madhavi told Len that she had actually been to their house earlier that day and had witnessed Joe unconscious on their bed.
Madhavi said that.
She'd seen that.
And
she went to the house, saw him unconscious, not moving, and left.
And then was like, "I don't want to help anymore." Took her to get cash from the ATM and all that
$250, yeah.
Oh my God,
and then walked home because Anu kept the car. His skin was pale, his lips were blue, but he was still breathing. And Madhavi decided to leave anyway.
This is the person who wanted to study medicine.
That's right.
Right? Okay.
Anu phoned the friend who had supplied the rohypnol. She was advised to call an ambulance, but Anu said that she couldn't because Joe didn't know and he would be furious. She said that
Didn't know what?
Didn't know that that she had given him the rohypnol. And that if Joe
don't call the ambulance for Joe.
Joe would be furious.
Because he'll be mad at me for giving him rohypnol.
That's right.
And instead he ended up dead. What the fuck is this story?
She said that Joe was taking one breath every 10 seconds. The friend said that she needed to do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Joe began vomiting black liquid.
Oh, God.
The friend told her time and time again to hang up and call an ambulance, but Anu said it was all too late. The friend then told Anu that if she didn't call the ambulance, then she might have a murder charge to deal with. At this point, Anu disconnected the call. At 12:10 p.m., this is on the Sunday, Anu called emergency services.
So we're bordering on 24 hours from when she first gave him rohypnol.
Rohypnol. Not the heroin, but yeah, the rohypnol. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh.
And just watched him. She was absolutely hysterical on the phone, which we spoke about at the start. She continually changed the address or kind of just gave a fake address. When asked for her name, she said her name was Olivia. The dispatcher told her to provide mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, but she couldn't because he was coughing up so much blood and his teeth were clenched shut. When paramedics arrived,
coughing up blood.
Well, I don't know. This is what's
more bullshit from her.
I know. When paramedics arrived, Anu waved them down. Joe was lying diagonally across the bed, naked from the waist down. He could not be resuscitated. Anu begged them to keep trying, throwing herself onto his body. It wasn't supposed to happen this way, she said. We were supposed to go together.
Oh, God.
When police arrived, they had to physically remove Anu from the bedroom. She explained that she had given Joe 4 rohypnol tablets and then injected him. She was promptly taken into custody.
She said that to police straight away. That's interesting.
On the 26th of October, Joe's mother, Maria, was on the edge. Joe called her always to check in every Sunday, but this time he hadn't.
Oh, no.
When Joe still hadn't called, Maria called Joe, but was met with a police officer's voice.
Oh, God.
Her blood ran cold. At the same time, there was an officer knocking on her door.
Oh.
The police told Maria and Nino that they were there about Joe. Maria begged them not to tell her anything more.
Oh, don't.
She knew that Joe was gone, but she did not want to hear it. Family and friends travelled to the morgue to identify Joe. Robert, the Cinque's godson, could hardly believe it. He had seen Joe smiling like he used to when he spoke about his car. Police explained that foul play was suspected and Anu had been taken into custody. Toxicology reports showed high levels of heroin and rohypnol. It was so rohypnol itself is 10 times stronger than Valium.
Oh, wow.
So
what is...
yeah,
it's probably a stupid question. I'm sure the answer is for sedation. But what is rohypnol used for except
it's a very
for
strong
drugging
sedation.
Someone unwittingly?
I don't know.
Sorry,
it is a very
unknowingly.
strong sedative. I don't think we have it here. Anymore. I
Because
think
you
it's not
only
really
hear
used
about
anymore.
it used as a
Exactly, because it's so strong.
drugging people in fucking nightclubs and stuff.
Exactly, and it's 10 times stronger than Valium, just one. So you can imagine.
That's what I mean. I almost feel like I don't know why it exists.
I know.
Which is I understand it's an ignorant comment, but it just feels like why can people get it at all?
Yeah, it must be used if you have a prescription for it. It must be used for something, but I don't really know.
Like was it fentanyl that Michael Jackson had?
Yeah.
Maybe that kind of thing.
Maybe that, yeah. So it didn't take too long for Madhavi Rao, Anu's best friend, to be brought in for questioning.
Good.
Detectives soon learnt that Joe's murder had been planned for months. Anu had studied suicide methods extensively and how to inject someone with heroin.
Then it's not suicide if it's injecting someone else.
Yeah. Anu needed to rely on her friend Madhavi, who had rohypnol, who had connections on how to obtain it. So Madhavi's friend who actually had the rohypnol and how to obtain it. At both dinner parties, Anu laced Joe's coffee with a sedative. So first it was another sedative, and then the second time it was rohypnol. The first attempt to inject him with the heroin didn't work. It had congealed inside of the syringe. On the second evening, Anu managed to inject a fatal amount of heroin in his bloodstream while he lay paralysed and unable to save himself. Madhavi was taken to the station and was also charged for the murder of Joe Cinque. Madhavi said, "I tried at every stage to intercede."
No, you didn't.
3 days later, her parents secured her $100,000 bail, but she had to remain under supervision. Most disturbing of all, Anu sat and watched as Joe suffered in pain for a very, very long time. It was only when his lips started turning blue and started coughing blood and people repeatedly told her to call paramedics that Anu called an acquaintance and told her that there had been an overdose.
Called an acquaintance?
Well, called her. Remember, she called the friend and said,
"Oh, yeah.
What do I do? What do I do?" Every precious second was eaten up with the wild goose chase she put the paramedics through, giving incorrect information and even referring to herself as Olivia on the phone.
Yeah, I want to know more about that.
Meanwhile, Joe died of a cardiac arrest. Police...
Is that commonly what an overdose would cause?
I think it's pretty common. Yeah, I think it is pretty common. Yeah, especially when you can't really breathe properly and there's I don't know, like with Police searched Joe's diary and found an appointment scheduled. Get ready to move. Move urgent today.
Oh.
Joe was obviously trying to leave Anu. He wanted out.
I mean, that's interesting in itself. One, why do you put that in your diary when you live with someone? Two, he was happy at the dinner party by all accounts from other people. I don't know, maybe they've said that because they feel like they realise they might be accessories.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, people do, play nice in front of other people if there's other people around, I think.
True.
1 year later, Anu and Madhavi were scheduled to be tried together.
Oh, wow. Both charged with murder.
Yeah, this is what was going to happen. Yep. Yeah. Anu was held in custody. Anu phoned a friend asking them to bring her all the high court cases where somebody had pled not guilty due to reasons of insanity.
She decided that's what she's going
to go with. The joint trial began on October 6th, 1998 at the Supreme Court. Anu pled not guilty for reasons of diminished responsibility. This meant that she admitted to what she had done, but she could not be held liable for murder because of her mental state at the time.
Yeah.
She claimed that she was suffering from untreated borderline personality disorder and major depressive disorder, which include explosive anger, unstable relationships, chronic fears of abandonment, and a false sense of reality.
I don't really know if any of them would justify murder.
Killing someone. No.
Exactly.
Borderline personality disorder is an interesting one. Like, I don't really know heaps about that. I certainly know people who have had borderline personality disorder, and it is a very heartbreaking thing to see. Someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't think of a case I've heard of where that's been used successfully as a defense for killing somebody, but
no.
I could be very wrong. I just can't think of a time I've heard that.
No.
But it may have.
The dealer who supplied the heroin was granted immunity for providing evidence against the pair.
Yeah, right.
Many people came forward saying that they knew of the plans and that Madhavi assisted in carrying out the plan. When pressed why no one came forward at the time, no one could provide a sufficient explanation. That's why you got so angry before. We can't provide one. I'm so sorry.
I'm still waiting for you to. You haven't finished the story yet, and if you don't provide me one, I'm going to be really mad.
During the fourth week of the trial, the judge realised that mounting evidence against the pair would likely cause unfair prejudice against Madhavi.
Huh?
He terminated the proceedings, deciding that Madhavi and Anu should be tried separately at a later date.
Wait, what?
So
I don't understand that.
Realised that Madhavi should not be tried with Anu.
You can't do that 4 weeks into a trial, surely.
Well, apparently they did.
What? This whole thing is so confusing. Like,
so
none
confusing.
of the things you're saying sound like they're real.
I know. They're just words I say. The prosecution
I've known you long enough now. I just listen to the words you say, and then after a while I go, wait.
What the hell?
What?
Wait, what? The prosecution offered Anu the opportunity to plead to manslaughter for a reduced sentence, but she refused, maintaining her innocence. While awaiting her second trial, Anu had a letter seized from her locker. It read, "I've decided to write down how this happened to get it clear in my mind also." She went on to describe all of the events that led to Joe's death, starting with her and Madhavi going to the library to find the book on assisted dying. She said that she had initially intended to end her own life, but then, after reading about partners who had married who had married a couple of years after their loved ones had died of suicide, she decided it was only fair that Joe would die with her.
No, that's not your choice.
Because you'll be heartbroken, blah, blah, blah.
No, that is not your choice.
From then, all she thought about was death. She wrote, "Didn't I think at the time that these friends of mine were helping me to die? Didn't I stop and think that Joe was helping me to live? No.
What?
I felt compelled to do it because I thought everyone was against me and only cared if Joe died or not."
No, sorry. I'm aware that at the start you said, compassion or understanding for her, and maybe we're getting there. But right now, quit with your poetic bullshit, Anu, and just admit guilt.
She goes on. "Then I wasn't sure whether to call the ambulance because Madhavi said that if you call the ambulance, he will leave you and put you in an institution."
Oh my God.
In a letter addressed to her mother, Anu wrote, "The most wonderful man in the world loved me so much. Would have made a perfect husband and father. Ruined. Perfect life. Ruined. Now everyone is better off than me when I had it all. I bet everyone is laughing at me now because of my own utter stupidity and selfishness. You must start preparing for my death now. My life is over. I made the wrong choice when so many others were available at the time.
Fuck.
Worked with druggies rather than Joe. Should have protected him and worked with him. Now, so many lives are ruined."
She's written this letter to her mother.
To her mother.
More than a year after.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Anu's solo trial began in March 1999. It was a judge-only trial. Her plea...
There are only 4 weeks of the trial.
And there's also no way, that you could have any kind of person in Canberra that wouldn't have known about it. Yeah,
exactly.
Her plea was not guilty. The defence stated that she suffered from borderline personality disorder and severe depression since her teens. She was in a delusional world where she truly believed that she was going to die from a disease. She was suffering from a depressive illness that culminated in Joe's death. Oh my God. Psychiatrists spoke of her personality disorder as exacerbated by her substance abuse and bulimia. If she had sought help, it would have changed everything. The psychiatrist stated that Anu should be put into a facility, not prison. The prosecution argued that Anu's actions were not impacted by her mental state and she was perfectly capable of making rational decisions. This was proven by her waiting to call an ambulance. And by the time she did it, it seemed as though she was hindering efforts to save Joe's life by giving false information. They argued that if she was depressed, she would have actually killed herself after Joe, not made a decision for herself after that fact, not to go. Her diary was also displayed, which was destroyed and pieced back together, which showed a vengeance against Joe.
Oh.
She also watched him die, which was an act of extraordinary cruelty. Yeah. Various witnesses described Anu as psycho, dramatic, and appeared healthy, which is why no one questioned whether she was serious in killing herself.
Which, that's not fair.
No.
Yeah.
A psychiatrist for the prosecution concluded that Anu was of sound mind when she killed Joe. Her problem was a lack of maturity which impaired her from being able to control her moods or temper. She had actually called a friend to ask for help, which showed that she was trying to remove any guilt away from her and worried about the consequences. Justice Crispin acknowledged the profound challenges of the case. He was satisfied beyond reasonable doubt that she intended to murder Joe, but he also accepted that she was suffering from an abnormality of mind. It was impossible to determine what she was thinking at the time or what led her to take such actions. The case was absolutely massive. Camera crews and journalists were everywhere ready for the verdict. The Cinques sat at the front of the courtroom awaiting the verdict. They did not miss a day of court. Maria was sobbing into her handkerchief. The family could not accept that so many people knew of Anu's claims and that no one, particularly at both dinner parties, did anything about it. Justice Crispin addressed Anu directly. In the next few years, you will have to come to terms with the fact that you killed the man you love. You have caused immense pain. If you find the moral courage, you may be able to rebuild from this wreckage, to repay the trust people have put in you. He then declared her not guilty of Joe's murder, but guilty of manslaughter on grounds of diminished responsibility.
Wow.
Anu was sentenced to only 10 years in prison.
Fuck.
With a non-parole period of 4 years, backdated to the time of Joe's death. She would be eligible in 2 years. When Justice Crispin left the courtroom, Maria turned to Anu and said, "This is where you belong. You stay forever. Rot in hell, you bitch. Devil. She's a demon. My son. That's all? 4 years? How can you sleep at night? 4 years. Is that all my son is worth?"
So sad.
So sad. Maria told the journalists outside that Anu should have been sentenced to death. It was widely believed that Anu had fooled the court into believing that she wasn't of sound mind. Joe Cinque was 26 years old. He was looking forward to sharing his life with his girlfriend, Anu Singh. He had supported her and he stayed with her with all her ailments, real or not real. She herself called him the most wonderful man in the world. She was premeditated. She planned to kill him, and she was acquitted of murder for diminished responsibility.
God.
6 months later, Madhavi Rao pled not guilty.
For fuck's sake.
The prosecution stated that she was criminally responsible for aiding Anu. She was fully aware of the plot to kill Joe and failed her duty of care. The prosecution believed that she was present when Anu put the sedatives in Joe's coffee, the rohypnol, that morning at 6 a.m. But it could not be proven what time this all happened and when Joe was injected. When she saw Joe ill in his bedroom, she did not have a duty of care as she was a friend,
What?
not a spouse.
No.
The defence maintained that she had no more legal responsibility than a complete stranger.
Yeah, sorry. Surely there's still a duty of care for a stranger if you see someone with blue lips passed out, that
Absolutely.
you do something about it.
She was alarmingly passive in her friendship with Anu and went to unhealthy lengths to put her friends' needs ahead of her own. She had difficulty standing up for herself. She told a classmate, "I've got a friend who's suicidal. She smothers me." A prison welfare officer overheard Anu putting the pressure on Madhavi about getting their stories straight. Madhavi was declared not guilty
Fuck off.
of all charges.
Fuck off.
Although her story was suspicious, they could not prove that she shared Anu's criminal intent. Maria and Nino had to be escorted out of the court for their protesting about what had happened. Nino collapsed and was rushed to hospital with heart problems. Madhavi was let off. She was now free.
Just not guilty completely, just
Yeah.
acquitted.
Yeah, she was allowed to leave.
Fuck's sake.
Anu later said, "It's my fault entirely. I was hysterical and she just loved me and wanted to help me. What would sending her to jail have really done? Would it have eased Maria and Nino's pain any more?"
That's not the only point of a guilty verdict. That's not the only point of punishment and rehabilitation and retribution.
It's having some sort of justice. It seemed this perpetuating sorrow on so many people, her family, would have suffered as my family suffered. I don't put any blame on Madhavi. Anu served her sentence in a maximum security prison where she worked in a prison library and tutored other inmates. She underwent psychotherapy and was prescribed for medication to treat depression, anxiety, and obsessive compulsive disorder. She was later transferred and granted day release to the University of Sydney. In October 2001, she was released on parole at the age of just 29 years old.
After 2 years.
Yeah. Only a few years older than Joe was when his life was taken away from him. In 2004, she breached her parole conditions for smoking cannabis and went back to prison for 3 months. In 2009, she was awarded a doctorate from the University of Sydney for a thesis, Offending Women, toward a greater understanding of women's pathways into and out of crime in Australia. She has since admitted that she lied in 1997 when she told a counsellor that Joe had been abusive to her. Joe had expressed frustration with her, but he never indicated that he wanted to leave her. She had told him various times of her intention to take her own life, but he encouraged her to keep living. Then asked why she did it, she said, "There's absolutely no legitimate or rational motivation at all." Madhavi changed her name and moved to the United States with her husband and kids.
Oh, fuck you.
She got to have a life.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who went to the party on those nights went on to finish their law degrees. The townhouse has since been demolished to make way for a new government housing project. Joe's childhood room remains untouched. The Cinques are of course still perplexed as to why no one came to Joe's aid. "If you see a dog on the street from a car accident, you call somebody to help the bloody dog," his father Nino said. Joe Cinque's death has often been cited as a tragic example of the bystander effect, a social psychological claim where people are less likely to help someone if others are present, believing someone else will act. Anu made a public apology to the Cinque family on television, A Current Affair, in 2007, saying, "There are many things people don't understand. There's a lot of things that have been overlooked. I was suffering from a very, very severe mental illness at the time. If I could have listened to people and sought the right sort of mental help, this wouldn't have happened. I would like to say to Maria and Nino that I'm deeply, deeply sorry for what happened. And to that, if I could, if there was any way I could turn back the clock, I would do so in a heartbeat." In the same episode, Maria rejected the apology, calling Anu the devil and responding, "Don't tell me this bullshit. You have killed the most precious thing I had in my life, my first son, my firstborn, the one who was going to carry his grandfather's name, is not here anymore." Maria Cinque believes that Joe wasn't just betrayed by Anu, but also the entire justice system. In the book, Joe Cinque's Consolation, Helen Garner goes to visit Justice Crispin, who presided over the case. Maria had called him all kinds of names and said that she hoped a child of his was murdered, so he would understand. Justice Crispin understood her hurt and frustration. In fact, he had lost a child too.
Oh, God.
Helen asked him about his lenient ruling. In the case of Singh, he said both her parents were doctors. They were terrified about the way she was behaving. They lugged her to doctors and psychiatrists, and then twice tried to have her locked up as an involuntary patient. Imagine how frightened you'd have to be about your own child to want to do that. Justice Crispin also goes on to say about Madhavi, "I think Rao was very coerced as to what to do. She was paralysed with indecision. I think Rao was very concerned as to what to do, I think it means. She was paralysed with indecision. Her friend was saying these things that were off the planet. Nobody else was taking it seriously. Should she take it seriously? What if she blew the whistle and rang the police, and then it all turned out to be a hoax?"
That doesn't matter.
By the time of her release, Anu already had a boyfriend who she met during her trial back in 1999.
God.
She spent 18 months at the remand centre where male and female inmates were able to make contact. She had 3 romantic attachments in that time, but only one serious who later went on to become her partner. After being released, they moved to Sydney together. Anu managed to finish her PhD in prison and actually wanted to become a criminologist. Anu attempted to make a documentary about prison and approached the founder of a victim support group called Enough is Enough. The founder's response was that if she wanted to genuinely help people, yes, but if she wanted to make a film, then forget about it. Like if she just wanted to make a film, then just forget about it. They never heard back from Anu. A few months later, Anu spoke out about how annoyed she had been about the public mistreatment and how difficult she felt it was to get a job in her chosen field. Her boyfriend was quoted as saying, "She wasn't an angel, but has served her time."
No.
2 years.
No.
In the book, Joe Cinque's Consolation by Helen Garner, she starts out wanting to talk to Anu, to Madhavi, to get their sides of the story. But what she realises is that she needed to get to know Joe. She visited with his family so many times and learned not to sit in Joe's chair every time she visited. That was his, as if they were waiting for him to return home. They also had a photo of him in the kitchen, and when Helen would bring something along like a bottle of wine, it was placed next to Joe, as if he was waiting for his house guest. I'd like to end today with Helen talking about sitting with Maria Cinque on the couch of their family home. They're watching Joe at a wedding that he was emceeing. He looked somehow different from his companions at the wedding, with his rather harsh haircut that swept any kind of mullet, bared his long, slender neck, and stripped his cheeks of sideburns. How much of this was projecting with the knowledge I had of his horrible fate? It was magic thinking, sentimental. I tried to pull myself into line. But I wasn't the only person to be struck by Joe. At a casual moment of proceedings, with the guests were attacking the dessert and nothing formal was in progress, where children were tearing about the dance floor among the drifting balloons, and Joe was just standing there, alone behind the long bridal table, smiling benignly and looking around him with a calm, bright curiosity. The camera zoomed in discreetly and framed him front on, head and shoulders, against the dark curtain. It had no reason to single him out in that moment, let alone focus on his agreeable face, but it found him, and it dwelt on him. It lingered, intimately and without his ever realising, for a good 7 or 8 seconds. His face was fine and sensitive, still faintly blurred with youth, not yet set in the hard lines of manhood. He looked like a man who was lightly poised on the very rim of the world he came from. I sat on his parents' couch and watched him with my heart in my mouth. Maria, too, ceased her murmured commentary. We gazed in silence on our undefended son. That, G, is a devastating case of Joe Cinque.
Thanks, I hate it. Oh my God, we've never cried this much. Do you think we should take a break and come back and
let's take a break.